So there are many, many things that experience has taught me about opening a car lot. I have many things that I wish I had known before I got started. Some I definitely should have known. Some I learned from the School of Hard Knocks. Some maybe mentors told me about and I didn't really pay attention. But here are my top 5 things I wish I knew before I opened my own used car lot. Let's get into them. All right. So one of the first lessons I learned, but didn't, before I even opened a lot. I used to buy and sell a lot of cars from my garage. Yes, I was one of those knuckles that did the open title thing. I would do power of his attorney. I would do whatever. Some I would go ahead and put in my name, maybe drive for a couple months and then sell off. So I'd always been buying and selling. Anyway, I had had an ad out that said that I was looking for Volvos. A guy called me and he goes, "Hey, I just want to let you know straight up, I'm a dealer. I just bought this XC90 today. I got a great deal on it. If you don't mind buying from a dealer, I have it." And he was a little shady because he said, "My brother has a lot down in Kilgore. And so I was just going to come to your house and do the paperwork. Is that okay?" Well, maybe it was back then, but now it is actually not allowed. And I think it will probably change as more people do internet sales and things like that and get delivery of the vehicle after the fact. But anyway, this dude's name was Randy. I told him I was hoping to open my own lot, so on and so forth. And what he told me was when you go to the dealer auction, only buy new car trade ins because you know that that new car dealer is not going to sell a 10 or 15-year-old Volvo on their lot. So, you don't have to worry about deceptiveness. So that was a lesson. And then the very first car auction I went to, I loaded up with cars from small lots. And what did I buy? I bought all the crap that no other dealer could fix. And when you get the back of the title and it's been reassigned 5 times, that means a dealer took it in and trade, and then they took it to the auction, and then they couldn't fix it. So then they took it back to the auction to dump it. And that would happen time and time again. So that was lesson number 5 is dealers take their junk to the auction to dump it. Yes, I knew it, but for whatever reason, I still did it. And then I experienced it. And then I took a bath on most of those cars. So that's lesson number 5. Dealers take their junk to the auction to sell. Okay, this sort of feeds into number 5. And this is number 4 is if you find out you've got a bad car, rather than throwing good money after bad to fix this car, thinking you're going to sell it and you're going to get all your money back or you're going to limit your loss, just dump it. You can dump it by selling it to the public. You can dump it by taking it back to the dealer auction and dump it. Just dump it. Even if it costs you $500 on day one, you don't know if you're going to spend another $1,500 trying to make this car right, only to then sell it and still lose $500. Time and money being somewhat equal, I would rather just lose my $500 up front sooner and get my money back, less the $500 I just lost, and get onto a car that will make me money. For me, that makes way more sense than continuing to throw money after a car that we've already established needed much more work than I thought, and then we go to sell it and we still can't get what we need of it out of it. So tip number 4 that I wished I'd have known was it's better to just dump and go. And now that is what we do. We'll give a car a quick assessment. If it's not going to cut the mustard, we are just going to sell that car either at auction or to an individual saying that it needs work, which you know what that means. But we're going to get rid of that car. We're not putting more time and money into that car, and we are moving on down the road to a better car that we know we can make money on. This one is not car lot specific, But for me, and that is again just for me, it is entrepreneurial specific. Tip number 3 is stick to one revenue stream until you have mastered it before you try branching out to an other stream. For example, I had a car lot. I was in a small town. I was selling cars. I had a buddy that came to me and said, "Hey, man, I want to buy this transmission shop. I don't quite have enough money. Would you be interested in going partners?" Sure, I sure would. I'm going to make more money. Yay. He goes, "Hey, you could even close this location and just move down to where the transmission shop is. And that way you don't have to pay rent twice." Sounds great to me. So we went in together on this transmission shop, of which he had infinitely more knowledge than I did. I was there to watch the money. Well, about 6 months later, he and I decided that we did not like being partners as much as we liked being friends, and that we were not happy with the cash flow of said shop. So we had the discussion amongst ourselves about who's going to buy who out. Me, not wanting to give up my initial investment, decided I would be the one to buy him out, which bought out most of his initial investment. The problem with this is I don't know a whole lot about car repair as selling it as a service. I can fix some cars, but I don't know how to hire a mechanic because I don't have the experience to know what it is that they need to know. So I buy him out. We part ways. There's actually no hard feelings. Everybody got along just fine. I leaned on him for quite a while, asking questions. But at the end of the day, I now own a shop, and I don't want to own a shop. I don't care for it. I like buying and selling cars and getting my own cars worked on, not having that pressure to get a customer's car done, things like that. Now, that's just me. I know other guys that have car lots that are also running shops and they're quite happy with it. But then I know shop owners that don't like to sell cars because they're afraid when they sell the car, the customer wants everybody to have already gone through it and made it perfect. So I don't know. But that's tip number 3 for me, and maybe for you. Do one thing, get it mastered, get it somewhat automated if that's what you want to do, before you venture out into something new. This is another one. It sometimes affects people that go into sales jobs, and that is the irregular paycheck. Now, for a lot of entrepreneurs, your mindset is, I am going to pay my bills, and then what's left I'm taking home. So getting used to an irregular paycheck is the number 2 reason or number 2 thing that I wish I knew ahead of time. And where I think I could have done better was I continued my normal lifestyle the first year the shop was open, not the shop, but the car lot. And I should have either planned to not take any money and invested all the money back in the lot. That would have been the smartest thing. And 2, I should have lived on the most restrictive budget I could while I was getting that name out there. Because the problem I have now is I sell, I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 cars at a time up for sale. And a lot of times I have 3 or 4. Now, I'm fortunate. I do have a good following. People will call, message, text, whatever me, wanting to know what's coming down the pike, what will be available soon. All the time, I see people that they call and they say, "Hey, I'm checking on your website. I see you only have 5 cars and 3 of those are showing sold. Do you have anything else coming?" So a lot of the cars that I sell, I don't even list on my website. But be that as it may, now I'm fooling with a shop. Now I don't have the operating capital I used to for inventory. If I had 30 cars out front, I would probably sell every single one of them in a month. Just because when I put a car out for sale, usually 1 week or less, and it is gone. So I wish that I had adjusted better to the irregular paycheck. I wish I had set a lower salary for myself. And I have my number one reason, which we're going to get to right after my shameless plug, where I ask you to like, subscribe, comment, and share my videos with your friends and family. So let's do that first. Hey everybody, this is Tom. If you're still watching my video, that means you're watching this plug. And what I want to ask for in this plug is for you to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. I recently looked at my Facebook data and I found out that only 5% of the people that watch my videos are actually subscribed to my channel. I know part of it is because some of the stuff I do is very specific information. How do you sign your title? How do you get a copy of your title? What do the different title colors mean? And that's something that you probably go to YouTube because of a Google search. You find that information, you get your question answered, and you're done. And that's one of the reasons I've started including some behind the scenes from my car dealership into my channel. So if it's content that you think you like, that you might like, that you know someone that would like, or you just constantly are having questions, maybe you're buying and selling cars on your own at home in your garage, maybe you're thinking of opening a dealership, a subscribe to my channel and a like would go so far. I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching. All right, here it is. The number one thing I wish I'd known about before I opened my car lot. Effing taxes. Taxes, taxes, taxes. Now, I could have and should have sooner switched to a different financial entity. That's on me. I didn't realize it. Here's the deal. My first year in business, I lost $69,000. Now, why I lost $69,000, well, it sucks, but it's not as bad as it seems. The first year I was in business, I had to sign the lease, pay deposits, pay for build out, pay for my license, and then wait on my license to come in before I could even start collecting money. So that was a deficit. Then, as I already mentioned, I think it was number 5, I bought shit cars from the auction that belonged to other small dealers who they couldn't fix the car, so they brought it back and dumped it on somebody else. So that was a problem. Towards the end of that year, I think it was 2017, I was getting good cars and I started making money. I should also say it was either late the first year or first part of the second year. My buddy had told me, hey, dude, quit selling these luxury cars. I don't know if you know my history, but I was selling BMW, Volvo, Mercedes. Pardon my cough. Call me Joe Biden. Anyway, he tells me, Tom, you have to buy cars that the everyman can afford. Buy some Chevy Trailblazers, some Ford Explorers, some Impalas, some Ford Focuses, some Silverado pickups, cars that more people are comfortable working on and comfortable buying. So I made that switch. And then sometime around that same time, I switched to offering buy here, pay here financing. And then things took off. That was great. But what happens when you make a profit is you get taxed. And I didn't think about and understand exactly what my tax liability was going to be, say, month by month. So I didn't set money aside to deal with that. Again, this is on me. I did not educate myself. I am a single member LLC. In a single member LLC, you file your taxes as Schedule C on your 1041. And what happens is your profit and loss from business goes onto your personal tax return. You get hit with 15% self-employment tax. What the self-employment tax is when you look at your paycheck as a W-2 employee, you know, you lost money for Social Security and all those things. WUDA, FUTA, SUDA, whatever all those little captions are. Everything except federal withholding and whatever insurance you're taking out. But those taxes are 7.5% of your check. Your employer pays the other 7.5%. So when you are self-employed, you pay both halves, 15%. So one, the money I made on the car lot was taxed at 15%. Then My total income was also taxed at my regular tax rate, and my wife has a job too. So that tax bill added up, and it sucked, and the IRS sucks, and you're guilty till proven innocent, and they don't like payments, and they compound interest daily. So what I should have done, and I did not, was once we knew we were going to make money, which by the way, we've rectified the situation now. Once we knew we were going to make money, we should have converted my LLC. You can elect to pay your taxes separately. What would that have done? Well, that would have made me a W-2 employee in my own LLC. So I would pay 7.5% out of my paycheck to cover these taxes. My company would also match me 7.5%. Okay? So you say, well, that's still 15%. Yes. But when my company is paying taxes, that 7.5% they paid me becomes an expense and is not part of my taxable income. It is not part of the company's taxable income. It is then, say my company made, say $100,000. It didn't, but just say it did because I'm trying to do the math in my head. That means that electing to file taxes separately for my LLC would have saved me $7,500 in taxes alone. What it also means is my wife and I would continue to be W-2 employees, file our taxes, get our tax returns, in spite of any delayed payments that our corporation might have been making to handle its tax debts. So I should have done that much sooner. Problem's corrected now. Got a tax payment. It is what it is. I wish that I had taken the accountant's advice sooner. And this is what I get. So all that to say, I love being a used car dealer. I enjoy it. It is the most fun I've ever had. It's funny I say that though, because today it just did not go like I was hoping it was going to go. I had started shooting a video about going to the auction. There were 3 cars that I went to look at. One was a Mini Cooper. It turns out that it had a misfire, and I am afraid of Mini Coopers when they have misfires because usually it's a timing chain or chain guides, and I'm not doing it. There was a Ford Focus with a dual clutch, and that year model Focus, the dual clutch is a problem. It had a code for a dual clutch error, which is fine. I own a transmission shop, so we could have fixed it. It also had a code for a cat. And on top of that, it went for like $1,500. Well, by the time I repaired it, I'm in it for like $3,000. And I think it probably would have sold for $4,000 if I was lucky. And I'll just be candid. That's not a good enough margin for tying up $3,000. The car that I really wanted was a Volvo XC90 SUV. It had a code for a cat, and the headliner was sagged real bad is all it was. It had a book value of like $1,950, and it needed that work. So I really was hoping to get it at around $1,500. At this particular auction, there's not a lot of people that like Volvos. I bid it up to $22,000, and I stopped, and I don't know why. My gut was just telling me it wasn't the right thing to do. So that was the 3 cars I was hoping to look at and or buy at the auction. I had a person message me off my website, and I talked to them late last night. I was supposed to meet them at 9 this morning. I text them to get their address. They ghosted me all day long. I texted them twice, and I know that means they've sold the car to somebody else or something. Then I have a third one. Somebody answered my website and told me they had a car to sell. Then she didn't send the pictures. So I messaged her, hey, did you sell your car? She messaged back, oh, no, I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm so busy. I'll get them to you. Okay. Well, at like 10 o'clock before I went to bed last night, no email with pictures. So I emailed her back, hey, we live in the same city, which is a smaller city. If it's convenient for you, I can just drive over and take a look at your car and discuss it with you then. She didn't answer my email. So at the end of the day today, I thought I was going to be buying anywhere from 1 to 5 cars. I got nothing. The shop had some frustration. The customer brought in a car and he had aftermarket parts. First, we ordered the right part from O'Reilly. It came in, it wasn't right. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this? So then we paid twice as much to get genuine Dodge parts. They came in, they were identical to the O'Reilly ones. So then I called the customer, and he says he does not believe that the tie rods were changed, but we looked up the lift kit that he bought, and it shows shorter tie rods. So we ended up giving the customer his car back, told him we'd install it for labor only, which I hate to do, but he's a good customer. I don't want to miss it. And so he's going to try to track down his tie rods at this company that he bought the lift from, and we will get them installed. So that's how the day went. Anyway, those are the 5 things that I really wished I'd have known. You know, hindsight is always 20/20. Experience is the best teacher. Whatever cliche you want to use. You know, I did not go to college. I got educated, or at least paid tuition pretty damn good when I opened my car lot. That being said, I love being a used car dealer. It's absolutely a rush. It doesn't matter, you know, what kind of car it is. The fact that I'm able to buy a car, fix it, sell it, make a profit, and support my family, I love it. If you're thinking of being a car lot guy, you want to work at a dealership, you want to open your own dealership, I have some videos about that. I'm not selling a program. I don't ever imagine selling a program on how to do it. I'm basically just giving you free information, kind of like, hey, don't do what I did type information. And I appreciate everybody watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all have yourselves a great day.